Think. There we go. We are
Yeah.
live. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's great to just throw this stream together. I've been telling my guests here that I might boomer it a few times because I haven't done a stream before, but I don't know. StreamYard's not so difficult. I think we're going to be fine. I've got with me the guys from 656 Comics. We're going to talk about the Cryptidnals. And I've got Jake with us, Bionic Bra. We're going to talk about Cobalt Thrashing About. We've got a couple other guests, hopefully, will be on the way later, but I won't introduce them just in case they can't make it. So, what we'll do is I want us to talk about a couple of current event topics that are going around quite a bit in CG right now. And oh, hey, Tentacle Pentacle, thanks for joining us.
Cool.
Love that name. Everybody does. So recently, what they've announced is the cast for the show Sandman. And there's a couple of characters in particular that people are concerned about because they're both doing a gender bend on one or two characters and a race bend on another. And, you know, in a lot of cases, I don't mind the race swap. For example, Michael Clark Duncan did a great job as Kingpin, in my opinion, in the Daredevil movie. When I first saw it, I'm like, how's that going to work? It did just fine. So this one in particular, where they've got a black woman playing the character Death. Now, Death is not only an iconic character in the Sandman series, but she's white. And by white, I don't mean Caucasian. I mean white. Like she has no pigment. She's like a chalk white color. The fact that she's a chalk white color and a teenage-looking character is very specific and on purpose by Neil Gaiman. I just learned today that, in fact, all of the Endless, when they're born or come into being, are without pigment. So they're not peach like me, they're chalk white. So it's interesting then that the character or the actress they've chosen is a person of color. Now, it's easy to say, well, Brian, peach wouldn't work either, to be honest with you, right? Because you're not chalk white either. So I just wonder if they're going to try to do something with makeup, if they're going to just let that go. And I just learned a few minutes ago, Ray here is a huge Sandman fan. So I'm going to start with you, Ray. What do you think about this casting choice? And could they do it without making the person chalk white?
You know, it's interesting that they're. I mean, I don't have an issue with it as long as the actress can carry the role, no problem. Whatever. But it is interesting to me that they switched races as far as Death is concerned, because originally Gaiman had a very clear vision of who Death represented, or rather who she was supposed to look like. She was supposed to look like I believe she was a musician, and her name was Cinnamon Hadley. And if you guys look that up, you'll see that she looks almost exactly like the Death that appeared in DC Comics. I think she was a stylist or a musician or something like that. But I can't remember where she was from. I'm having issues remembering she was from, but that was who she was based off of. Now, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the actress that they chose because I found out about the casting really late, and I was doing other stuff, so I didn't get a chance to peek in and read the news about it. But who is the actress, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't recall her name. It's not someone I had heard of before, so maybe we can have somebody check that out for us and drop it in the chat. So what's also interesting about that selection, though, is somebody's got it for us. It's Oliver. Thank you, Oliver.
That's Cinnamon Hadley.
There she is. Yeah, see,
Yeah, that's Cinnamon Hadley.
That archetype is very specific.
Wow.
And that's the person that Neil Gaiman was going for. Now, ironically, and I don't mean that in a funny way, ironically, this actress/musician passed away a couple of years ago of cancer.
There you go.
So,
that's what happened to her.
Yeah. So, I also learned that today. I've been learning a lot lately because people have been discussing this race swap. A lot of people are up in arms about it. Like I said, I'm not so sure I am. If the actress can pull it off, then that's okay. It's just a matter of this person looking so very different from the vision that Neil Gaiman had. Oliver, what's your take on that? Oh, I'm sorry, just a second. Joe Sontag just joined us. Hail, Fred Durst. How you doing?
What's up, Joe?
I'm kind of like Ray. If she can pull it off, I mean, I don't see no problem. But what's the deal of just like haphazardly just changing race swaps and gender benders. I mean, it's does it serve a purpose to the story? If it does, okay. If not, then why fix it if it's not broken? I mean,
I
that's my
agree.
take. That's my take.
I mean, not to argue the point, but when you read Sandman and Dream or Morpheus appears throughout the series, depending on who he appears to, he changes the way that he looks to them. Like there's one issue where he appears on a different planet, and of course, everybody dreams, even aliens, monsters, everybody dreams. So when he appears to these characters, he takes on the form that they are used to. So these aliens are looking at their embodiment of dream, or whatever you call them there, whatever Morpheus calls himself there, as themselves. And when he appears, like, I think there's one issue, it's Dream of a Thousand Cats, and he appears as the goddess, what's her name?
Is it Bast?
Bast, there you go. He appears to Bast as also a cat god, and she refers to him as the cat god because cats dream, and he looks exactly like a cat god would look like. So, like Oliver's saying, it doesn't really matter as long as they can pull off the character, or the actor can pull off the character. To me, myself, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very curious. I watched American Gods, some of American Gods. I haven't finished it, but I do know that a lot of times, these companies get involved, these corporations get involved, and they want to kind of twist it and bend it to their own agenda. So maybe that might have happened here. Gaiman is very specific. If you read his scripts, the way that he lays out a comic book or a script or anything like that, he is so exact, so descriptive on every nuance of what he's writing, that it's hard for me to believe that he didn't object to this, or he didn't have something to say about them recasting Death in this form, or any of the other characters. But I'm not a fly on that wall, so I wouldn't know. But that's what I believe.
That would be a very interesting conversation to be a part of when he signed over the rights or allowed them to do this. You wonder how much influence he has. I want to take a second to welcome Shane O'Sullivan to the show. Thanks for joining us. And Francisco, how do you say the last name? Arce?
Arce, yeah. You got it right. Yeah.
Awesome. I have some very, very close friends who moved up here from Mexico for a job. One of them works for General Motors. So Angaliban is the husband's name, and her name is Stephanie. But anyway, it's cool that they've been teaching me a lot of stuff. When we were kayaking on the lake not too long ago, they were telling me the weeping willows are jarrones. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna learn some cool words from these folks.
I have a question. Do you think that when the studios race swap or anything, do they like talk with the creator, or they just go with their decision?
My guess is that they just go with their decision. I think that the creator, at the very beginning of the agreement, that's when they probably indicate how much influence they're going to have over the product when it's finally shown on television or on film. If, in fact, that's the case, though, I got to go with what Ray said. And if he was still very involved, I would see him objecting to switching. Now, it's hard to say switching the race because, honestly, Death isn't truly white. I mean, she's not a Caucasian, so we're not really switching a race here. There is no race for Death, but she's a chalk white, and as Tentacle Pentacle mentions in the chat, her looks are very much a part of the character. It's very important that she looks like this waifish teenage
goth girl.
Yeah, technically, right.
Oh man,
Jake, what do you think about that?
So I'm about on the same lines as having Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. It doesn't affect me as much as it does some when I don't know the characters that well. I don't know anything about Sandman, so it's not affecting me like it does others. Now, if there are fans out there that are like bugging out, well, I don't want to say bugging out about it, but are passionate about the characters that they've known for so long, and you suddenly like flip the switch on something that makes them who they are, yes, I have a problem with that because you're messing with something that's been around for a long time and has been established. But on the flip side of that, I didn't have a problem with the 60s Catwoman from the Batman TV show.
Oh, good point.
So I mean, it really just depends
Yeah.
on, for most people, what they grew up with and what they know at that moment.
That's a very good point.
It didn't bug me when they made Michael Clark Duncan Kingpin. It didn't bug me when Miles Morales came along because I didn't take it as replacing Peter Parker.
Very good point. Yeah. See, that wasn't a replacement. That was an addition. That I don't have a problem with. Speaking of addition, I'm going to use that as a nice segue to bring Irene on the stream. Hi, Irene.
Hello, I'm on.
Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi, everybody. What's up? Thanks for having me on.
You bet, Irene. Thanks for joining us. Listen, what we're talking about right now is the casting for Sandman. And so far, the stream here has agreed that so long as the actress can pull it off, it might be okay, because the character isn't actually Caucasian either. She's chalk white, no race, really.
Well,
What's
they're
your
like
take on that?
they're entities, right?
Exactly.
I was listening in for a bit in the background, and I was seeing Bionic Bruh talking about Miles Morales and everything. And yeah, I think what's important is staying true to the logic of the world building, and also partially that, and partially staying true to the original, like honoring the original creation. So, you know, as long as you're not like dishonoring the original creation, like this is kind of a sidetrack, but I feel like it's related, like what they're doing with Lord of the Rings. I don't particularly like that, because that was made specifically to fill the gap of lost British mythos, like ancient British mythology, and that was lost. And I feel like it doesn't make sense in the world to replace like the race and background of a lot of characters. But for Sandman, they're just entities. Like they can be any race. So I think I'm in agreement there.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was hoping that there would be a nice civil discourse here, because I've heard some people get really upset about this. And it's
You
been
know
great.
what it is like a lot of people, of course, are not used to change. They don't want things to change, especially when they grow up with it and they're iconic to them. They have a special place in their heart, you know, growing up, reading comics, watching movies, you know, listening to music. When something changes and they're not like, wait a minute, that's not mine. It's no longer yours. It's someone else's. That's when the issue comes up. The one thing that always comes to mind is the whole reaction that people were having to DC trying to make Superman black. And I kind of agree with it, and I don't agree with it at the same time. I agree with the fact that a character should come up organically, like Miles Morales, not shoehorned into the role, and that way you have a more appreciative stance as far as the character and his origins are concerned. When you shoehorn a character, it kind of like feels forced. It's like, they're trying to do something with this character in order to reach some sort of agenda, or, to meet some sort of quota. I don't know, whatever. But that's when it bothers me, when they try to shoehorn a character into it. Now, the newest book that came out from Marvel, Reptile or whatever it is, it is a Mexican American character. It isn't shoehorned. It's organic. It's coming up. People are like really buzzing about it right now. And I don't see an issue with that. It sounds really, really cool. It's his own little thing. But when you try to do it to an iconic character like Superman that's been around for a long time, there can be a black Superman, don't get me wrong. But if that character has its own origin and comes from his own place and organically becomes this character known as Superman, then that should be what the focus is when storytelling, or when telling that character's story.
I'm definitely with you on that. Like, for example, Iceman has been around for 73 years. And it's only been within the last few that he's discovered he's gay. I mean, it seems like he would have known for a very long time. Now, I know characters don't age in comics like they do in real life, obviously. Otherwise, he'd be like, what, a 93-year-old man. But so there's a bit of suspension of disbelief there. But for him to suddenly be revealed as a different orientation seems disingenuous. Why not create a new character who's just as powerful, maybe even a similar power set for all I care, like they did in DC with Icon, the Milestone banner, or in Marvel when they introduced Blue Marvel, Adam Brashear. That's a great character to me. I love that character, and there was nothing wrong with introducing him as a new character. Sure, they had to sort of had to get creative with a history, like how is it that he's this old and he's always been around but nobody ever knew him. So they had to get creative with that. But still in all, it's a new character. They didn't force some other character to suddenly switch races.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, Shane O'Sullivan, though, as sort of a counterpoint, I think I can do this. Oh, look at that. If
I
Death
just
was-
discovered that too.
If Death was originally set as a black character in the comic and cast with a Caucasian actor, people would be up in arms.
Exactly.
Now, this is
course.
true, but as I said, this character that's being replaced by a black actress isn't truly a Caucasian. So I'm not sure this is
Sure.
exactly apples to apples,
It's
No,
the way I look at it is, the whole Superman thing. I think they're trying to lane into that, like, whatever Earth that black Superman comes from, and trying to tie that into its own thing. But I don't care if characters become different races or have different backgrounds or whatever, when I don't see an agenda tied to it.
Okay.
When
yeah, that's perfect right there, man. That's true.
Well, when
Like,
it's not to cut in, but when it's not applied
Sure.
equally, like what Shane O'Sullivan said, then that seems like there's an agenda. Because if it's really just about, let's organically do an alternate dimension version of this character, then I feel like no one really has a problem with that.
It's
There
like
was-
the Harley Quinn thing. I don't know if you guys read about the Harley Quinn thing. So she had a love affair. They've been building up this love affair with Poison Ivy over
yeah.
so many years. Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Conner have been building this character up. They've given her nuances. She's a beautiful, beautiful character, and she likes Poison Ivy. They love each other, and they shared kisses and everything. But for some reason, recently DC's like, nope, that never happened. Nope, we're just gonna cut that out. Like, why? That
that
was
weird?
organic.
It's
that
like
was
building-
organic.
reverse
they're building that.
SJW. It's like, why after all the time building up that character to be homosexual, why on earth would they now take that away when in fact this is not a sudden switch or a shoehorn? This is something that I agree with you. That feels like that would be organic and would be just fine. That's part of the diversity of a representation of the cross section of humanity. There are going to be people who are gay. It's that simple.
There was a Comic-Con where one of the fans asked Stan Lee, would he ever have Spider-Man be gay? Would he ever have his Spider-Man, Peter Parker, be gay? And Stan Lee basically said, not Peter Parker. Now I'm paraphrasing, so you can go look at the video and just
I
make
remember
your
that,
own.
though.
But he was very much like, I don't mind other characters being gay, but my Spider-Man is who I created him to be. So in that, I think Peter Parker is related to his Spider-Man. That's his Spider-Man. Now, there are other kids growing up now whose Spider-Man is either going to be Miles Morales or Peter Parker. And some even have Gwen now.
Right.
So, I mean, it's getting it to where it can be, they're making it more comfortable for the idea of anything can be intertwined, anything can be let go. It came down to how the Dark Knight puts it in the movies. Anybody can wear the mask.
And that's
Anybody.
exactly it right there, man. That's exactly it. Growing up, the same thing. Whenever I would read comics, anybody that had a mask on, it didn't matter if they were Caucasian, didn't matter if they were black, Asian, white, whatever.
Right.
You wore the mask, you became that character. You were Spider-Man. You were Wolverine. Male, female, it didn't matter. Because that's how imagination works. And I think that's something that comes into play nowadays, that a lot of people seem to restrict their imagination, and it really, really hurts these characters that we've grown up with.
See,
Something
what
else-
I like.
Go ahead, Jake. No, you're the
What I-
guest. Go ahead.
Okay. What I would ask is, for those that want to do that to these characters that they've grown up with, have they ever created a character? Would you mind if your characters were altered after you, I don't know, passed the torch or whatever, or if you had somebody come on and write a story with your characters? Suddenly, your characters are now gay, have an addiction, alcoholism, they have kids now, they're black, yellow, white, who cares? Is that the character that you wrote? Is that the story that you are attached to, that that came from you? And for me, no, I wouldn't want any of the characters that I created changed to fit whatever you've got going on. you can give like a little nod to me in your book and be like, hey, I got this idea, but I'm going on a different route with my story. I'm all for that. But when it comes to, would you change anything about, the Siamese twins? Would you change them into men? Would you, change Cyber Frog into a pig? Would you change Cobalt into a female? I mean, personally, I would not. No, that's not the story nor the person that I created.
If it's written well, if it serves a purpose, how about that? Or no?
If it's written well and serves a purpose, sure. But I feel like that's not going to be Jesse Jensen. That's going to be Jenny Jensen. That's going to be, that's going to be a best friend that took up his mantle because he went MIA or died or something like that. But when you say you want to change my character, Jesse, who wears the mask, then I have an issue. If you want to put somebody else in the mask that was uplifted to do so,
Inspired?
by all means, go for it. Yeah, if you're inspired to, yeah, go for it. Wear that mask. But don't do the stuff where I have Kal-El here and then I have Black Kal-El here. You didn't even try.
Yeah. I think I understand what you're saying. What I will say is I think I'm kind of the demographic that, a lot of superhero comics say they want to appeal to or diversify to. But
Sure.
I like that. I think it's nice to have more characters from different backgrounds. Of course, having more diverse superheroes is fantastic. But what I find kind of insulting is when a franchise seems to think that, historically not as represented group only deserves they don't deserve like their own original heroes. Why does it have to be a subversion of something that's already created? Because I'm all about respecting the original IP of whatever was created.
Sure.
So an alternate world dimension of it, like an alternate dimension Superman who's black, that's cool. But to say that, to change a whole history of this character and say that this character has always been gay is suddenly straight, that's disrespecting the original character. And why do they think that that's all that a minority group deserves? Like, why don't we deserve our own characters and our own stories that are original? Because I feel like that's within like my power to create. That's within everyone's power to create those kinds of stories. So I don't want hand-me-downs.
Absolutely.
No,
So
totally.
I want to say
And
hi to a couple
that's why
people.
we're here, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I'd like to say hi to a couple people in the chat. We've been joined by Sugar Chris. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Chris.
And Amanda B is here. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
So I wanted to point out that recently on Twitter, I got into a discussion and I sort of knew that I was stirring the pot a bit because it was somebody who was coming at it from an SJW point of view. And I kept saying, diversity is important. If you were to look at my comic book universe, for example, I have a lot of different demographics represented. I have Asian Americans, I have Black Americans, I have homosexuals, I have bisexuals. That is just one of their attributes. My stories aren't going to be about the fact that they're Black, for example. I don't know the Black experience. All I'm going to say is that he's got black hair, he's got brown eyes, he has black skin, period. That's just it. He happens to be African American. And, he's a superhero in my universe. So my universe is diverse on purpose because I think it's a good representation of people. The people around me, for example. In my area, just south of me in Dearborn, Michigan, is the largest concentration of Middle Eastern descendants outside the Middle East. So there's a lot of folks who are Muslim, who are Chaldean Catholics. So, I have a little bit of exposure to that group and I have it represented in my universe because that's part of the people I see around me. So, am I for diversity? Absolutely. But I don't plan to teach a lesson with it. The only lesson you'll get from it is this is part of America. This is part of the universe that my comic books are in.
See, and that's beautiful, man. That's exactly what needs to be done. It's just part of the story. It's not the story itself. That's kind of like what we're doing in our book, in the Kryptonauts. Big spoiler, by the way, here it comes. But La Llorona and Spring Hill Jack, which is a female, they have a love affair. They're, in love with each other. But that's not the story. That's just part of the story, And we just touch on it and we move on to the main story, and that's it.
Was that an exclusive that we just
That's a
released
spoiler right
here?
there.
Oh,
That's an
nice.
exclusive spoiler right there.
Exclusive on a chill stream. I like it. Well, thanks for that. That's
No, you're
helpful.
totally right. As long as you don't make it the story, I think that's beautiful, and it'll work.
I agree. So we're about a half hour into it, and I'd really like to have some time to talk about your campaigns. So, Ray, are you the one who's going to share screen, or will Oliver share screen for me?
I'll do it. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. All right, good.
Thank you.
So while he's looking it up, why don't you start telling us a bit about your pitch, Ray?
Sure, no problem. The Cryptonolds, it's monsters fighting monsters, cryptids fighting tulpas. The secret war of monsters is about to begin. Unlike other books where the cryptids are kind of like, it's humorous and they joke, they're joked about. This is more in the terror horror vein. We focus on the monsters themselves, and we downplay the humanity aspect. So these are monsters interacting with monsters themselves. And if you want to check out the trailer, and I think that'll give you a little bit more of an idea of what the world is pretty much based on. So go for it.
Did you share audio, Oliver?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead.
In the dark recesses of cyberspace exists nightmare fuel we take as fallacy, but these tales and images are cursed through the power of belief. Tulpas, sentient thought forms residing in between the abyss of life and death. Their endgame is to destroy the only reality they know, ours. Only darkness can vanquish darkness, more rapid than the radiance of light. Enter the Cryptonolds, mythical beasts of unearthly abilities whose existence has been criminalized by humanity. The first and only line of defense against the incursion of otherworldly evil. A secret war of monsters is about to begin.
You know what, guys? I got to tell you, just for a second there, at the end there, when the logo comes up, there's a simplicity to it, but I really like that logo for some reason. There's something about it that just speaks to me. It sounds funny because there's not a whole lot of flash there, but I really like it. Maybe that's why.
We're trying to capture, I don't know if you guys remember back in the 80s, there were these horror novels. They were Necroscope. They were called Necroscope or something like that. And we're trying to capture that type of feeling with the logo and with the whole presentation of the book. We're drawing a lot on horror, but not just like slasher horror, because anybody can do slasher horror. We're doing more like disturbing type horror, something that stays with you after you've read the story, after you've experienced the artwork. And it kind of like, just stays in the back of your head, kind of like those, like Hereditary and those type of movies that you're just like, oh, what did I just watch? And then later on, you're like, oh, man, that really messed me up. And that's what we're going for. And Dario, which is the artist for the book, he's delivering on all fronts on that. He's doing this. He's drawing like from Junji Ito, some Gustave Doré, and Bernie Wrightson. Of course, he loves Bernie Wrightson, and you can see that reflected in his art. And all of the book is his artwork. It's 132 pages of Dario just firing on all cylinders and doing these beautiful, beautiful pages. The Cryptonolds, of course, is monsters versus monsters, tulpas versus cryptids, which are Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster, stuff like that. The Mothman right there versus tulpas. And tulpas are like the new, I guess, horror that's coming up on the scene, drawing from cyberspace, like the Rake, Black Eyed Kids, the Slender Man. And I use the Slender Man in quotations because I never really thought the Slender Man was very scary. It's just some dude in the woods with a 3-piece suit with tentacles and stuff. But we did
You don't
some
think that's
research.
scary?
Well, there's scarier stuff out there, and that's where we did the research, and we came up with our own version of it, which is called El Ñango, and he does have an agenda, very Lovecraftian. It draws from that, draws from Poe, a lot of stuff that I went into detail, researching. I've been doing this for about since 2016, just researching the background for this book, drawing from reality, trying to shove as much knowledge that I get or research that I got from getting all these stories together to deliver something very different and very unique.
So I have a question, and then I want you to tell us about something else too. And the first question, or the question I have is, it's the cryptidnals versus the topa. Which one is the one trying to save our existence, and which one's trying to destroy us?
That's a really good question. So the cryptids have been criminalized by humanity, and that's where we get cryptids and criminals, and you put them together and you get the cryptidnals. They're the ones that they kind of have a deal with humans, like leave us alone and we'll leave you alone. That's why, there's always sightings, but never anything concrete. So the topas is this encroaching otherworldly horror. I want to call it like extragalactic, Lovecraftian type stuff, eldritch, that's coming into this world now. And it seems very, innocent, very like mundane because it's, happening on cyberspace. But that's what's really happening in the background. It's amassing these legions of monsters, these black-eyed kids, these rakes, all this other stuff going on. Even the Smile Dog is in there. And it's starting to affect these creatures' reality as well, this planet. And so they're like, hey, we need to do something about this. And it plays off of a lot of themes like the X-Men and stuff like that, the group mentality. But it's more the horror-driven story that I'm going for, that I'm aiming at. Okay.
So is there any aspect to it where the topas realize that if they get rid of us, there is no cyberspace anymore?
Well, they don't need cyberspace. They're in our world now, so.
Oh, okay.
They're how do you say it, Ray? They're created through thought, so they dwell
is in a manifestation. Thought form, yes. And if you believe in it enough, it becomes flesh and bone, and that's what's happened here. Enough people have believed in all these stories that have been circulating for the recent years that they've amassed so much power that they're now being cited. Like if you go on YouTube and you look up like the rake sightings, you'll see all these people out there recording in the woods, and you see something, you don't know what it is, and they're like, it's the rake. You know what it is? What is it? And the black-eyed kids, the Smile Dog, stuff like that. So the topas are gaining a lot of power very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the Jinji Ito. That was like the first thing I thought when I was seeing the trailer. And that cover is sweet, by the way, like the main cover you have with the skull. It looks awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was Dario and Red Garcia on that. And that's the type of artwork that's going to be featured on some of our tiers. We have this one tier, it's called the Cryptid Hunter package. And that's the main tier that we're pushing. And we have Dario's sketchbook in there. We have, you know what, Oliver, you explain it because you explain it a lot better than I do. I seem to fumble through that.
No, Ray. Okay, I have it here. Let me just show you the bigger images. Yeah, the Cryptid Hunter perk is our elite, our ultimate Cryptinos package, which features all 3 covers. The supplemental Man Dog Unleashed book, which is short stories from one of the characters of the Cryptinos, covered by David Olivares. And we're also going to have the sketchbook, which is Creature Apocryphal by Dario Rodriguez. And the cool thing about this sketchbook is it's a sketch cover. So you're gonna get a nice, awesome sketch by Dario on the cover.
So it'll be an original sketch, is what you're saying, if this is the tier you go to.
And it's only limited to 10, so
that's why.
It's very exclusive.
So Ray, did you not say that the sketchbook was by Dario?
Yeah. Yes, the sketchbook is also by Dario. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, we also have Monster Moments, which are a pack of 12 Polaroids. I have some.
This is what I was going to ask about. Yes, this immersiveness that you include in this is very cool.
Yeah, we want to like kind of like emulate like monster sightings, and they're all taken by Polaroids.
Oh, that is freaking cool.
Yeah, this is not the artwork. This is just a test print we had made just to see the quality. But yeah, they're real.
Check that out. They made it look like an
that's
actual.
Awesome.
That's cool.
That's very clever. Yep.
And we're gonna have like MP3 files accompanying it. So it's going to explain what the photographer saw, right? And we're gonna take all those files and offer it and convert it into a cassette tape.
Yeah, talk about the cassette that you're including and what the catalyst for that is.
It's cursed.
So what? It's cursed.
It's cursed.
Yeah, it's kind of like we want to kind of like emulate that scene from Evil Dead 2 where Ash goes into the basement and plays the reel-to-reel player, and all that craziness ensues. Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just going to be exclusive to the Cryptid Hunter perk. So only 2 remaining, 2 out of 10. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Well, that's great that a lot of people are taking advantage of that offer.
Yeah.
Now,
man,
I see that it says plus the MP3. That's good because I don't know a lot of people who have a tape player anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna be a collector's item. It's gonna have the little case, the J card, and all that.
Okay.
And plus a download code, so you can download all the files, so you don't have to open your cassette. So it'll be
Okay. Excellent.
sealed
Now,
and stuff.
I'm a former disc jockey, so I actually do have a tape player, but so I'll get to listen to the
Awesome.
original,
Nice.
but I don't know a lot of people that do. So that's great.
You'll appreciate the fact that we're including a cassette rewinder as well.
Oh, seriously?
A pencil.
What, pencil? Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. A number 2 pencil.
Yes,
old days.
we're looking into it, and we're gonna add the logo at the side and all that. So.
Oh, you're not kidding. I thought you were just teasing
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're not gonna go to the dollar store and just buy boxes of pencils.
Box of pencils.
I thought you were pulling my leg with that.
We're looking into it. We're looking into it. So
Okay, awesome.
yeah.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say that we reached the 6K stretch goal a couple of days ago. So
Nice.
everybody's going to get the sketchbook, but with the regular cover. So no sketch cover. So just the regular edition. So everybody's gonna when you back it, you're gonna get this regardless. So
yeah, Oliver, if you could scroll back up to the top, show us how close you are to the 7,000 goal. Let's see if we can't prompt some people.
We're in pesos, by the way. So
I was like, what?
I'm like, holy crap,
Really in
man.
there.
yeah, oh shit.
Like, wow, you've unlocked a few more than those.
There we go.
So yeah, we're at 6,610. So we're
All right,
very
that's
close.
very
We're-
doable then. I don't know if we have enough people in the chat to get us there, but yeah, those of you who haven't backed yet, consider that. I see we've been joined by Jim Cox. Thanks for being here, Jim.
Cool.
Hi, Jim.
Appreciate you being here. So yeah, go back to Cryptidnos. I believe I have the link in the description below. If I didn't do that wrong. So if you want to go check that out, this is a good opportunity to do that. So guys, what we're going to do, I see now that we're at about 20 minutes too. So let's move on to Jake's campaign, if you don't mind. Jake,
Let's go.
if you could share your screen.
Okay.
Jake.
I'm going.
And Irene, be warned
I
that
thought
I'll
he
be
was
asking you to
frozen.
do the
Oh,
same.
I have to be ready? Okay, I'll be on the spot soon.
I read.
Hold on.
Be ready.
I'm right here.
I
guys.
shall be.
Okay, so
Everybody can still hear me?
yep, we used to hear you, we
Okay.
see your screen, so things are going well. Hopefully you shared audio because we might ask you to play the trailer. But first, I want to say, look, we are you're in demand, so that's you're beyond your. Did you do 30 and 30?
I did do 30 and 30, yeah.
Okay, so you've moved on to in demand. So what kind of timing do you have for fulfillment? Do you think?
Right now, the only thing that I'm working on is the lettering and getting the ads from the people that took up the ad space from the tour that I had. So I'm waiting for Global Frequency to give me their ad. I'm working with Lucky Finn Project to give me theirs. And then after that, lettering. And if it all looks good, we're going to print, man. We should have everything to you by the end of July.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, that'll be setting a good example for fulfillment because a lot of folks need to see that these CG books can be done in a timely manner. So, good on you if you can get that done. I also wanted to ask you, do you have an editor?
I do not. No.
You don't. Well, DM me. We'll talk.
Okay. Yeah. Kumasabi's told me the same thing, so I'll probably use both of you and get both of your notes.
Okay. Yeah, I've been an editor. I used to be a proofreader in an accounting firm a couple days ago, so
Okay.
I can probably add some to your effort there. I'd be happy to help.
I would really appreciate it.
So if you shared audio, why don't you go ahead and hit the trailer for us?
All right.
Ooh, animated.
Nice.
So now I know that the coach John Malin would give you some shit for not having any voiceover there, but I like that you let the art speak for itself. I'll be honest.
I just knew that going into these streams and everything, there'd be absolutely no reason to have voiceover because I'm going to be talking about it anyway.
Oh, okay, sure. Shame my trailer then. Just kidding.
No.
So yeah, why don't you tell us about it and scroll down through your campaign. Tell us whatever you'd like to and your pitch.
Sure.
Oh, we got background somewhere.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, just stop sharing audio and they'll fix it.
Oh, StreamYards.
Let me see.
Yeah, these StreamYards updates are not helping.
That do it?
It's very annoying. I wish
Yeah.
they'd make it easier to control this stuff.
Yes,
That work?
now it did do it, Jake. Yep.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
All right. Nice. All right, so Cobalt is about a guy named Jesse Jensen and his little brother Isaac. And right now they're coming out of hiding from basically dismantling the Aranya cartel that was taking over Atlanta. So what we're initially doing with Cobalt is taking capes and masks and putting them in a cyberpunk neo-noir setting. So we're going to be getting a lot of aesthetics from stuff like Blade Runner, not so much Alita Battle Angel, but definitely up that road, and all setting within Atlanta. So this is the aftermath of a 7-page origin story that I created for an anthology called Super Abled Comics for little kids who are growing up with limb differences. And I wanted to expand on that and not just be part of a niche community. I thought the story of Cobalt could be brought to the masses and entertain a whole bunch of more people. And so that's what I'm doing with this. So Thrashing About is about coming out of hiding and seeing if you're ready to don the mask and be serious about it. This is no longer about vengeance against the people that took your hand. This is about saving others and being selfless. So what we have is him coming out of hiding, and as he does that, he's learning that other gangs in Atlanta are trying to take that top spot that the Aranya used to hold. And so from this first 32-page issue, we see that unfold. We see new characters come into play. We see new allies and new enemies take place. So this is very much the comeuppance of Jesse Jensen's to become the hero that Atlanta needs.
Wow.
So
Why Atlanta?
I lived in Atlanta for 3 years, so I knew the layout. And so I wanted to do it there.
It made an impact in your life then.
Yeah. So
I live in Atlanta right now, so I was like, Atlanta. I try to get a film deal. That's what everybody does right now.
Yeah, I lived at least like 20 minutes out in Lithia Springs, right by Six Flags.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, 5 points and everything. We're going to get little nods to that and whatnot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Cool.
So the guys from 656 Aranya, that means spider, doesn't it?
Aranya?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aranya means spider and stuff. It's
Yeah,
very,
very
very cool,
fun.
man. I'm digging your book a lot. It reminds me a lot of innovation comics. I don't know if you guys remember that from the 80s and 90s, especially the interiors that you're showing.
Yeah, isn't that great? The painterly / like watercolor style. I really dig that. That's something very different in today's comics, even in the indie scene. So I can't wait to get this and really look at it very closely.
Yeah, that would be my interior artist, Erwin Arosa. He lives in the Philippines, so we've been doing all this back and forth over Messenger and Google Drive. But man, what he has delivered is phenomenal. As soon as I saw his art when I was giving out ads in the Facebook groups, I fell in love with it. I knew he was the guy that I had to go with.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
phenomenal.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, the coloring is really nice.
I'm digging that.
Yeah.
I want to ask him how he did it. Is it like pencils and then the digital coloring? Like, I'm being all technical about it now.
I asked him, and he said it's all digital.
Oh, okay.
So he's got a
that.
watercolor brush or something, maybe.
Yeah, he's getting those colors off of digital. That's amazing. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
So,
go ahead.
I was gonna ask Jake to tell us about the tiers that he's got.
Okay. So I took off the ones, since we're in demand, I took off the ones that I didn't think would really matter anymore, like the $150 and $300 tiers where the ad page takes place, because I'm already trying to fulfill.
Right.
So I made extras of everything of these tiers that I'm about to show. So I took down ones that I was pretty much done with. So the digital copies are no longer available from here on out. Just be knowing that you're looking for physical. So at that metal tier, you'll be getting not only the digital and the physical, you'll be getting a metal size cover print of the cover. So this is on metal, and this is done by Phoenix Animation over at the Black Rose Comics.
He meant comic book sized.
Comic book size. What did I say?
You said metal sized.
Metal.
It is metal size, by the way, but yes, it is comic book size. A comic book size metal print.
That
Awesome.
Phoenix guy is everywhere.
Yeah, he is.
So there's that, and then you'll also be getting an 11 by 14 printed poster that I have all ready to fulfill. They're already right here next to me. I'm just waiting to set them out and everything. And then, of course, you get a little 3 or 4 inch size chibi sticker to go along with it. So all physical tiers get a chibi sticker. I mean, I just threw that in there because who doesn't like chibi stickers?
It's going on my laptop.
Awesome. And then, of course, we go down to the basics where we're at the physical fight, the $20. That is the digital, the physical, and the chibi sticker. Then we have Blood Brothers. That's going to be a digital, 2 physicals, and the chibi sticker. On that second physical at this tier, I will sign that second one. So you can have one that you can toss around, and then you'll have one that you can, like, I don't know, throw up in a frame or give
send
to
to
a friend.
CGC, get it graded. Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Stay vigilant. This is below the That's Metal tier, so it's the digital and physical with an 11 by 14 poster and the chibi sticker at 35.
Nice.
And then lastly, we have the names Cobalt. So at this one, you get the digital and physical copies, the 11 by 14 poster, print poster, the chibi sticker, and then you're going to get this massive 12 by 18 metal print.
Sweet.
Wow.
You know what? I'm going to
done.
solo you on that one if I know how to do that. Oh, look at that.
There you
Bam.
go.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
I'm a fan of all the metal prints. A lot of people are doing metal prints.
Yeah, that's
Really good idea.
sick. Yeah, love
I
that.
like it. But yeah, those are the tiers. Of course, everybody that signed on the mailing list back in January and February are getting a metal trading card.
Oh, let me solo you again.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the cover art and the trading card art are done by my cover artist, Max Bertolini. And he's done covers for both Dark Horse and Heavy Metal Magazine.
Nice.
Nice job on those. Yeah.
He actually just had his Kickstarter fully fund, and I actually got his book in there on my coffee table that I'm going to be reading later.
Oh, very nice.
And then lastly, the stretch goal that we hit was the $4,000 tier, which was just an extra 1,000 on top of the 3,000 goal. But everybody that backs now will be getting a 4-inch patch of the Tail End Comics logo.
You just made Shay very happy.
Yes, right.
Yeah. She's the only reason I did patches. She's the only reason. She was like, dude, you should do patches. I was like, well, if somebody's telling me that I need to do it, I must need to do it.
She gave me a long talk about that too.
Yep, she's the reason I have a patch on mine.
I think we're still on the fence on patches. I don't think we want to do them just yet. So we'll see.
Yeah,
what
sure.
happens.
Okay. All right.
We did
Bro,
a
I
pin though,
think-
so
No, those Polaroids and that mixtape are excellent, man. When you showed those, I was like, that is a throwback. I love
Isn't
Yeah,
it.
that one of
that
those
was
things
cool.
where you think, why didn't I think of that? Damn it!
No kidding. Brilliant.
thank you
All right,
guys.
thanks,
Appreciate it.
thanks, Jake, very much.
No problem.
Let's now move on to Irene and see what she's got to offer for us.
Yay! I hope I shared the audio correctly.
Let's see. I'm
'Cause
not.
I did share window, but I hit the audio, but it wasn't like my full screen.
Oh, here we are.
So we're gonna see in a minute if I boomered this.
Listen to her.
Let's go.
If she boomered it, she's probably like a third my age.
Well, never doubt my ability to mess things up. Let's see. So this is my campaign, Fiendish. We just went into in demand on Friday, but I'm going to keep it in demand until we start fulfillment or until we send things to the printers. That is. So we still got like about a month and a half because I have the book was originally in black and white, but because we hit our 15K stretch goal, the book is going to be in full color. So my colorist is working on the colors right now, so he needs time to do that. So we're going to still be in demand until the colors are done, and we can send this to the printer. And
We need to hit 25K with the Fiendish campaign, guys. Tell them why, Irene.
Yeah.
why? I think Shay and I might have said something about being in bikinis on stream together at 25K. So,
Right.
Get my checkbook.
I mean, that's not the only reason. So, it's because the book is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because the art is awesome. That's what it is.
Yes, totally. Yes. Well, so I created Fiendish. I'm writing it. I'm drawing. I basically did everything until I realized I would die if I literally did everything. So I brought on some help, and I have a colorist now, Carlos Zamudio. He's very awesome. He did 3 pages in color already. So what you see here is his work. So I did the cover colors, and I'm doing the cover art and everything. And this is also mine. This is one of the posters that's available. But this here, all the interior colors will be by Carlos.
Is your colorist
beautiful.
using the grayscale as a foundation, or
We've been talking about that. He's playing around with it.
Okay.
So we're literally supposed to meet like later today to go over like how much of it he can use. But he's trying to, because we've been going to process since we closed on Friday to see like how we're gonna handle that. But yeah, like we like to keep the lighting because people actually really like the black and white version or the grayscale version. So I'm offering the grayscale as another, you can get the grayscale book separately too.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
yeah. So you can get the default book will be in full color, but as you can see, the smoke tier right here is going to be the grayscale book. So, and with the variant cover. So yeah, you can get that because people really like the black and white. Let's see if the trailer works, shall we? Tell me if it's not playing sound.
your video is muted, by the way?
Oh, there we go. Is it playing?
Dang.
No!
Just higher the volume. You had it
No.
low.
I think it's not pretty high. So yeah, see, I told you guys I was gonna mess this up.
It's quite all right. This is
It's okay.
a totally impromptu stream.
Yay! I think I have to share my whole screen though. That's why. It won't let you just share a window and then do the video. So
Are you
know
on
what?
a laptop?
No, I'm on a computer. You know what? Let me do this. Let me just share it. Let me share it right from my I'm so smooth, guys. I promise my book is smoother than I am right now. Much
it's better
smoother.
be.
I'm a mess. My book isn't. Here we go. Okay, I shared the video directly from my computer.
Okay,
you
so
can
I'm
click on
going
that,
to bring that one down and bring this one up. How's that?
There we go.
There you go.
Yes.
That
So
was
there
cool.
you go.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Nice.
So
And
the
we-
story. Should I go back to my other share screen? Let's stop. There you go. I can do this. I got this. So the story is basically it's about a group of young men and women on a journey of vengeance against otherworldly monsters. And my main character, Casimir, he is the survivor of a mysterious demon attack on his hometown, but it was years ago and he escaped far away, tried to forget about it, but now suddenly the demons are resurfacing and no one knows where they came from. So he is going on a journey with a couple of other people who also have incentives to find out where these demons came from, to figure out what's going on. And it's tackles revenge, it tackles sort of just a theme of finding the truth and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I have a lot of world building into it. It's basically a D&D campaign. If you like stuff like Vinland Saga or Berserk, or if you play a lot of D&D like me and have no life, then you would love this book. So
Nice.
yeah,
I was
great
gonna
pitch.
say like there's a like super D&D RPG, a lot of like it reminded me a lot of RPG like video game RPGs like Wild Arms and all those other ones, the turn-based ones. It was very, very cool though. I liked it.
It's very, very inspired by tabletops because that's pretty much the only hobby I have. So it's basically like I built my own version of a tabletop game. Like I built my own world and my own magic system, and I'm just, it's like an RPG game, but with more focus because there's a story and there's like major characters that we follow through it. But yeah, it's about the search for where these demons come from, and I say the premise is a bit like Demon Slayer, but not quite. It's a little bit darker, not as dark as like Berserk, but it's slightly more darker fantasy, and there's much more expansive world building, and it's complete fantasy. So if you go onto the website at fiendishcomic.com, you can see like the world map. I have a constructed language. I have a 20-page preview on there just because I want to be open and let people read the book to make sure they like it. So you can go to fiendishcomic.com if you want to check out more about this project.
Heck, I backed it without the preview, but the preview sounds like a great idea. The whole thing about the RPGs is something that really got my attention. Although I haven't played in about a decade, I used to play at least twice a week. So I've been a D&D, GURPS, Rifts, even the Star Wars universe.
Ooh.
So look at all this.
Yeah, Pathfinder is pretty much my only hobby, and other than that, I just work. I work all the time. I have no life. So.
Well,
I'm
we
in the
are all
same
going
boat.
to benefit from it. What's that, Ray?
No, I said I'm in the same boat as you can see. I'm wearing my.
Yeah, I was
My
going to
shirt.
try to. Is that Demon Slayer?
No, it's just a Dungeon Master shirt.
Dungeon
That's
Master.
all
Oh,
it is.
Dungeon Master. Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
Bunch of nerds.
Oh no, that's a no.
Hey, I wear that like a badge now, man.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Right.
Wear our nerdery with pride.
Yes.
So I suppose I'll go through the tiers for the most basic
no problem.
one.
Please do.
Yeah, because a lot of things have changed. It's been a process because I have done a campaign before. I did a campaign for my art book in 2019, but this is my first comic campaign, so there's a lot to learn. So for chapter 2, I'm going to have it much more streamlined. I'm going to have like art from other people as well. I'm really looking forward to doing that. But for this, I added a lot of things as we went. So for the air tier, which is the most basic one, well, after you can also get the grayscale book now, which is on here because I added it later. But you get the grayscale book, which is smoke, and then air is just the book, which is a 46-page book with 10 pages of extra content. So that extra content is just I have some pencil pages, I have sketches of the characters, I have my thumbnails, process work. I'm going to have the basic alphabet for Ninarsa, my constructed language, and I'm going to have the world map in there. So a lot of extra content in the back, and it's 46 pages of story content. So, and then water, you get the book plus 1 poster, and those are comic size posters. So not metal and not cool like other people. Maybe I will be in the future. I'm striving. But
I know people.
Cool. We'll talk. That's cool. Maybe that'll be my real stretch goal for 25K. Metal prints.
Wait,
we'll
what do you
see.
mean?
No,
I mean your real stretch goal.
Additional stretch goal.
Okay, thank you.
Additional stretch goal. Yes. Listen, I keep my promises, as people who follow me will know. So the prints will be, I'll probably print out like pearl, like cardstock pearl SM paper, and it'll be the same size as the comic. So these are mini prints. And then for the cold tier, it's a book plus 2 posters. That's posted by me and the one by Carlos, who's my colorist. I'll have a bigger version of this poster further down. It's really, really cool and gory. And then earth tier is the book plus the 2 of the above, and then another poster by Yvonne, And his poster will also be color, but is still a work in progress because he's really busy. And then the heat tier are all of the above plus a little acrylic Demon Sandy. It's like those little plastic things you can see in anime shops. So it's you'll see a bigger original art down there as well. So you get like a little cute toy thing you can put on the desk. It's really adorable. And the plasmid here, I actually think I might have to discontinue, even though it's really cool. So the plasmid here are these. You get all of the above. It's like the full package, everything. And I've been making these handmade wooden plaques of, like, it's my original art here. You get these demons, and it's one of a kind. These are done by pyrography, and I make like every single one is different. But I totaled up all the plasma tiers I had, and I have like 55 to do. So I might be a little overloaded. I'm sorry, but
56.
Are these for summoning demons, or what? What's the purpose?
These are what, summoning demons? Yes, you can use this summon demons if you want to. You use it however you want.
You have to get 5 of them and put 1 at each point on the pentagram.
Yes, that's true. Buy 5 of these. Listen to him. You can use it however you like. You can use it as a loving pet, put it on your wall, or summon monsters. It's up to you. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to get it, you can probably get it right now, but I'm going to end this tonight. I have too many to do. This is... because I want to fulfill it like in a reasonable time frame. So
everybody who wants these, get on it right now during this stream.
Yeah, before she closes it.
Oh no, I'm gonna get like 10 in an hour. Oh boy.
Probably.
We'll call it the Dojo Drive.
Yes. There you go. The Dojo Drive. That's perfect. I mean, I will still appreciate it, but no more after this. Way too much too. So you want
to do comics, or you want to you want to play D&D? What do you want to do?
I want to do everything. I want 48 hours in a day. Why can't I have that? I'm sure we all want that. Yeah. So these are the guest posters. The one on the left is one by Carlos, who's also my colorist. On the one on the right is by my artist friend Ivan, and that's going to be in color, but he hasn't gotten to it yet. But that's one you'll get if you get all 3 posters. And further down here is the little demon Sandy.
Oh, isn't he cute?
Isn't it adorable? Yeah.
Where's his weak point?
Spoilers.
Okay.
They do have weak points though. Yeah.
You can put it right next to your My Little Pony, Jake. No problem.
Yeah. They'll be best friends. Best friends. And here are all my add-ons. You get an extra copy of the book. You can get, not the 2019 preview. I'm sold out a bunch of these. I should probably mark it. The preview book and my art book are sold out. But
I was just going to say, what is that? Regrowth. That's awesome looking.
That's my art book. That was the one I crowdfunded in 2019. I will do another print run for chapter 2, but right now I'm literally sold out. Like I don't have any more copies, so I can't provide any more. But I'll be printing more next time.
That's a good problem to have.
Yes, it is a good problem to have. There are worse problems to have, definitely. You can get a Demon Sandy. Those have not run out because I'm just going to produce as many as I need. You can get full-size posters, so those will be 11 by 17 posters. And I will have to fold those, but some people want the big posters, so you can get those tacked on as well as add-ons. And also you have I don't have it down here, but I do have a retailer perk if people want to get a bulk order of the book. So you can get 10 copies of the book. And if you would like some of those to be in black and white, then you can just send me a message with your backer number. Because I'm keeping track of them. They will all be signed. I'm gonna die, but they will all be signed.
Wow! Somebody's gonna have carpal tunnel by the time this is done.
Yes, I will. I was too ambitious. I want to do everything. I want to make people happy. Let me do all these plaques and sign everything.
This retailer here is a great idea. I wish I'd thought of it. Maybe I'll do that for my next campaign.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be, like one person asked for it, so I put it up, but people quite like it.
Looks like you got, what is that, 8 of them sold? Is that what it says?
Yeah, which is pretty good. It's 10 copies. I was like, who would buy 10 copies of this book? But people wanted to. So
some folks have a retail, brick and mortar store that they might like to display it in because it's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some people I don't know. I think some people are also collectors, so they want to like collect books, or they're ordering a bunch for their friends. So yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I'm very honored. But you can get that as well, and I think that pretty much, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, I think I've seen other people do retailer perks as well. It's a good thing to do. Let's see. And stretch goals, we've hit everything. Oh my gosh, it's very overwhelming. So, let's see. I'll be sending out desktop and phone wallpapers to everybody who backed. I have spot gloss on the cover now. That was our second stretch goal. Then I have a sticker package. So 5 stickers that will be included for all campaign backers, not in-demand backers. This is a reward just for campaign backers. And for 10K, we colored the entire book. I said 15K earlier, my bad. The book will be in full color. And then for 15K, I'm including a set of 3 trading cards for campaign backers. If we can reach 20K, which we're very, very close, we're like $200 to 20K. I'll add 1 more trading card, so that'll be 4 trading cards, and the cards will be unlocked for in-demand. So everybody who backs the book, whether during the campaign or in-demand, will have the set of 4 trading cards. So that's our goal right now.
Well, you're going to smash the 20K because everybody wants to get to 25.
Yeah, let's go. I won't do anything. Buy my comic. I'll do it. Yep.
Thank you for sharing all of that. That's phenomenal.
Thank you. Yes, and again, you can go to fiendishcomic.com, which I have it pulled up right here. Here's the world map for you nerds out there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the world map looks phenomenal too. I love maps are my thing, so this is a great job on that.
I have too much to there. Character profiles. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but yeah, I have a lot here, so you guys can go check that out.
Is that font that I just saw? Is that the language you talked about creating?
Yes, it is. I wrote all the character names in the font. It's called Nunarsa, and I have in basic introduction. I think you're putting the dictionary up as well, but right now I just have the alphabet up and an introduction to what the language is. Yep.
So
but yeah. And here is I have a preview, so you can actually, because I want to just be upfront and show people the comic, make sure they like the product before they get it. So I have this huge preview up, and you can go read it and see what you think.
So suggestion.
Have you thought about I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say suggestion.
Where did it go?
All right. A suggestion, Irene, you can take this and run with it for your next campaign. Anybody who can speak the language should get like a bonus perk or something.
Oh, that would be cool. Oh, that's a whole level of nerd, but somebody's going to do it.
Well, there's people who learned Klingon, so.
Oh, yeah. That would be wild. Yes.
I was just going to suggest that maybe you should, look into making an RPG, like an actual full-length RPG. It's becoming the trend lately. I've seen a few books that have come out mainstream. I think Helm Great Castle, friend of ours, Henry Barajas, he just released that book last month, and he included like an RPG module to go ahead and play along in that same world. And you're doing all the legwork. I mean, you've created your own language, you've got your own land, you've got all these characters, your own magic system. What's the next step? You got to do the RPG.
Yeah, so I am thinking of that, and it's going to take the money to produce, but I am thinking, well, not like the RPG itself, but so it's because the RPG itself, that's not that hard. Like I'm kind of working on the bad. I have all my characters statted out. All of my monsters are statted out, of course. But what will take work is like incorporating the magic system into like like the D20 system, and because it's different than anything from Pathfinder or D&D. But what I do want to have I think this is what I'm going to have for when the first arc wraps up. So this is a long form story. There are 4 arcs, and the first arc is 8 chapters, and each arc is about 8 to 10 chapters. So when the first one wraps up, I think I'm going to do a big reward where I'll have I think I'm making like dice, like D6s, D4s to D20s in like themed around this world, and the numbers will all be in Nunarsa, and then I'll have character figurines like you can play on a gaming board and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I want to make it.
So she's bringing the heat.
This is just a teaser for what's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
And even at this one, she's sort of running herself ragged, but it's going to be awesome when we get these things, and I can't wait.
I'm a little too excited, but yeah, there's so much to do.
Oh, wait, we got a suggestion here from Tentacle Pentacle. Use the GURPS magic rules. They're very adaptable. Yeah, he's right.
Oh, okay. I'll look into
that. Like I said, I used to play GURPS. That's Generic Universal Role-Playing System. That's what that stands for.
Okay.
So their rules are very adaptable.
Cool. I will look into that. Thank you.
No problem. Hey, listen, everybody. Thank you so much. We're 10 minutes past the hour, which is no problem whatsoever. This was just an impromptu stream thrown together. Thank you all so much for coming in at the last minute, because I'm like, hey, who am I going to have on? So it's great that you came on to show your books and talk to me about the current topic. When you leave this stream, go on over to Black Rose Comics with Phoenix Animation. Let's all do a dojo raid on their show.
There we go.
Woo!
And of course, as always, like everyone says, the chat is super important. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you spending some time with us and learning about these 3 campaigns. And if you already knew about them, putting eyes on them again. Maybe you can tell folks about the stream and get some more backers for these folks.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you
Thank you so
guys.
much.